All right, Charlie, we have 2 bottles on the bar tonight. These are kind of close to my heart. Why don't you tell them what we're doing?
Tonight we have 2 wonderful offerings from the fine folks at Pursuit Spirits, Mellwood and Derbytown.
Yes, these are part of the Mellwood Legacy Collection.
Hey, you know what we should do? Drink them.
I'm down with that. Okay, Charlie, so Pursuit Spirits Mellwood Legacy Collection. This is brand new from Pursuit. Why are you looking like that?
Because I'm excited to drink these.
Great.
These sound like a fun thing.
They are a fun thing. So 2 bottles, obviously, in front of us. We have the Mellwood Bourbon. It's a bottled in bond.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, it's 6 years old.
All right.
Right?
Keep going.
And guess how much it costs?
$50.
Nope. Guess again.
$39.95.
$29.99.
For a 375.
For a 375.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is cool.
And
a little hip flask, the old style look.
I love the old style. I love these little bottles with not a faux tack strip. I mean, it's a tack strip. It's not a real tack strip, but that's what's holding it on. I like these. I love the presentation. $30 for that. Okay, let's do it.
Absolutely.
And it's a bottled and bonded and 6 years old.
Yes. So this is a revival of the old Mellwood whiskey. It honors the esteemed legacy of the George W. Swearingen's Mellwood Distillery that started back in 1865.
Would it have started on Mellwood Avenue?
Mellwood Avenue.
In Louisville, Kentucky?
Yes, it would. So Pursuit Spirits is on the site of the distillery. They're on Mellwood Avenue. And what really kind of got me on this one is I grew up on Mellwood Avenue. So I moved around a lot, but we actually lived in 2 houses on Mellwood Avenue. So I was like, I have to have this.
Have to have it.
Have
State
to have
law.
it. Absolutely.
Listen, I like the revival of old brands. We talk about this a lot. Glenn and I are both history buffs. It is impossible to not get into bourbon without appreciating or really getting into and really diving into the history of bourbon, which is vast. And a lot of it is, you dare say, a lot of it's forgotten. There are distilleries out there that are long gone, brands that are long gone that nobody's talked about or seen for 50, 70 years. So I love this. I love this trend.
And it's crazy how many. Just right here in Louisville, Kentucky, I had no idea. I'd never heard of Mellwood.
Yep.
Before now.
When was Mellwood started?
The original 1865.
Yeah, I was around for a while.
Yeah.
We just did, speaking of resurrecting old brands, we did Kentucky Nectar from Old Commonwealth, which the Old Commonwealth Distillery was founded in the 1880s. It was the Hoffman Distillery and on it goes. But Kentucky Nectar was a Mellwood
Produced
Distillery
by Mellwood,
brand.
yes.
So it all comes full circle.
It all blends in together. So let's get started. We're going to start with the Mellwood.
The Mellwood.
This was distilled by Rabbit Hole.
Okay.
So they wanted to make sure, Pursuit doesn't distill their own spirits.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make sure if they're going to resurrect this brand, it's got to be a Kentucky distilled
100%.
bourbon, right?
And moreover, a Louisville brand, right?
Absolutely. Louisville brand, 100 proof, obviously, because it's bottled in bond, 6 years old. The mash bill,
Okay.
78% corn, 12% rye, 10% malted barley.
78% corn.
Nope, you're looking at the wrong
Oh,
one.
I'm looking at the wrong. 78, 12, 10. You are correct. Okay.
Pretty light.
Yeah, it is. It is very light in color for a 6 year.
It's a light honey color.
I'm really surprised. It does streak down the glass.
Yes, it does.
It's got really viscous. It looks like syrup. Very excited for this one. Oh my.
That's very pleasant. Just a really classic bourbon profile.
Sweet corn. Sweet corn, candied, candy sugar, almost. I'll use your term.
Like a
confectionery sugar. Very.
What are the little tart? What do you call them? The sweet tarts that come in a clear plastic wrapper. Smarties. Yeah.
Boy, that's
a little bit.
That's pretty aggressive there. I like how specific that got. The overwhelming nose on this is sweet.
Sweet corn. There's some
sugar sweet
caramel corn.
Yeah,
a little bit there.
All right. Let's see how this palate goes. Cheers.
Boy, that's an interesting mouthfeel.
It is.
To me, a very thick, viscous mouthfeel.
Struggling with this one a little bit. That is really
It drinks a little higher than 100 proof, I think.
It's got a little. This one kind of reaches up and grabs you pretty quick.
It does, yeah.
It lulls you to sleep with all that syrupy mouthfeel, sugary, and then the rye spice grabs you by the back of the tongue, and then you just get Kentucky hug the whole way down.
It's got a lot of Kentucky hug. But not in a bad way. You know what this reminds me of? Like an old-fashioned, just like, hello.
That's embarrassing.
Hello, Cody.
Hello, Cody.
It's got like an old-timey whiskey, like just nothing, no frills, nothing fancy, just a hip flask bourbon that you take to the game, you know?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I will say this. You feel that way because it is hip and came in a flask and is old-timey.
I do, but I feel like it tastes that way.
Which, again, the power of suggestion. To me, I think it's fine. I'm not going to. It's going to sound like I'm ragging this. To me, it drinks a little younger than 6. I don't get a lot of complexity. There's a lot of corn sugar, a lot of sweet corn. There is a little pop of rye toward the finish. I'll be honest, it's the Kentucky hug is borderline kind of bugging me.
Well, you're saying, so you kind of disagree with me, but you're pretty much backing up exactly what I said. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing old school. It's what your grandfather would have stuck in his back pocket and taken to the football game.
Yes. But the bottle that your grandpa is buying was $4 for a 750.
Yeah, obviously.
This is $30 for a 375. Yes. I'm not ragging it. I'm just saying that I like it. I think it's...
You know what this tastes like?
Jim Beam?
It tastes like what Freedom Hall smells like.
That is...
Have you been...
So oddly specific, and I hate the fact that you're so right.
So, and if you live outside of Louisville, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but where the University of Louisville used to play basketball, Freedom Hall.
Unbelievable.
It has this, like... smell of
Kentucky
caramel corn. And go ahead.
Keep going.
Caramel corn, pork chops, cigarettes. Like this smells like walking the it tastes like the smell of walking the concourse of Freedom Hall.
Yeah.
Everyone who has ever been to Freedom Hall knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Trashy.
Well, I didn't say that.
In all the best ways.
Says
listen,
the Notre Dame fan.
It is. Listen, I don't hate it, but it is not the most complex thing in the world. But you know what? I agree with you 100%, and now I love this that much more because I cannot argue with you. It does taste nostalgic. I will give you that.
And it's don't get me wrong. It's not going to win any awards. It's not going to blow you away, but I like it. I think it's
I don't dislike it.
It's a man's whiskey. It's a boy's whiskey that it's the guys who make fun of us for picking out all these different notes and everything, and they're just like, you know what I mean?
It's whiskey.
Yeah,
it'll get you drunk.
That's right.
Like that's what it is.
Yep.
I don't disagree with anything you say, and I think I like it more now because it is in a resurrected brand and a nostalgic bottle. And now I'm getting it 100%. I do not disagree with you. It's back when whiskey was made for a purpose, and that was whiskey drinking. They didn't have to worry about two idiots putting a camera up and being like, "We're going to tell you what this whiskey tastes like." They're like, "Here's your choices, drink it or not." I don't disagree.
And it warms you up on a cold winter night.
It absolutely will. I'm going to palate cleanse, and then we're going to talk about what.
You palate cleanse. I will. Did I say cleanse?
Palate cleanse.
I will introduce the next bottle. Up for bid on The Price is Right. And that is Derbytown. This is another Pursuit Spirits, obviously. The distiller is Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So
look at that color,
this
kids.
is a barrel proof bourbon.
Oh, okay.
The proofs will vary depending on, what you get. This is 122.8 proof, 7 years old. The mash bill on this is 78 corn, 10 rye, 12 malted barley. So the rye and malted barley is reversed
Okay.
on the first.
78, 10, 12?
Yeah,
Okay.
that happens to be Elijah Craig's mash bill. It's not Elijah Craig.
Because this is Bardstown. 7-year-old Bardstown.
It's a 5-barrel blend.
Okay, so
very
extremely small batch. Yeah.
And guess the price on this one?
$50.
Yeah, you don't have to guess because it's right in front of you.
But I just assume everything's $50 in Bourbon Land. 375. So just going off color and stats, haven't noticed anything yet. Bardstown Bourbon, which I will speak
Haven't
for
had anything
myself.
yet?
I have not
No,
had
we don't
anything
like.
that I don't like from Bardstown Bourbon. 122.8 proof. Let's go. 7-year age stated. I'm in. So let's nose this sucker.
In the interest of full disclosure, we tried this the other night at Mesa.
We did.
Yes.
But it was the 5th bourbon that we had had of the night, and we had had dessert. I remember thinking this was really great, even after all that.
So
I'm
it'll
very
be
excited.
Interesting to see how we feel about it.
Unbelievable color. I'm nosing. I'm
Nice color,
Yeah.
nice viscosity.
You just keep talking.
For that to be 122.8 proof,
Yeah.
there is no
Dangerous.
ethanol
I mean,
at all.
I get a little. Ethanol, but it's not enough that I kind of have to pull my nose away.
Okay.
I get a lot of really sweet brown sugar and barrel char on this.
There's some. It's not super complex.
No.
There's some wine notes there. A little bit of wine note.
If you say so. Freedom Hall. Cheers.
I'm sorry.
All right.
That is not indicative of the bourbon. It went down the wrong pipe. Swallowed too hard.
What?
That's what she said.
Would you like to take a drink of water?
I would. You talk.
Boy, is that one good. That is so good. How good is it? I'll tell you. So good. If the other one tasted like Freedom Hall, no. Is anybody doing the Lord's work like Bardstown Bourbon Company?
I don't think so.
Just, it immediately lives up to all the stats that you look at. When you look at a bottle and you're like, okay, it's 7 years old and it's 122.8 proof, it's from Bardstown and the mash bill and it's disclosed and all that, you know exactly what you're in for, and it delivers on every side of it. It's again, lower rye, 10% rye, 12% malted barley, very mellow. You get a nice corn kind of sweet to it, and then it just grips you with barrel character. Really sippable. The Kentucky, it's amazing to me how differently these drink proof-wise, with this one being 20, almost 23 proof higher.
Yes.
And this is just so much more mellow and so much more enjoyable. The heat is almost
It's
on the
deeper.
palate. Yeah. Everything
the heat
is
is on the
deeper.
palate, on the finish.
Yeah.
Like I've got it on my tongue right now.
Yeah.
And I know I choked, but please excuse me. I went down the wrong pipe. But that's really good. We loved it the other night at the dinner, and I love it now. It's a straightforward, punch you in the mouth. Straight, just classic bourbon.
Deep, dark corn sweetness that but it's a dark, like super dark, oaky.
When you say corn sweetness, it's balanced out by
100%.
yeah.
Like it's and it just it doesn't have like a front and a mid and a finish. It just grabs you and just sits on your palate. It's a great bottle. Again, Bardstown Bourbon Pursuit, excellent job picking. That's an amazing blend. That's unbelievable. I really enjoy that one.
That's a buy at $50.
That's a buy at $50, even if it's a 375. That's a really solid bottle. I love the presentation of the bottle. The label's great. That's a really, really nice pour. I feel like I might be overselling this. That's really good. That Derbytown is really good. I'm going to drink some more. You talk.
It is really good. I would be interested, and even though it's not the same distiller, but to put this up against an Elijah Craig barrel proof, just to see how it measures up. I don't think it's as dark and as rich and as deep as an Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Well, it's not as old.
Right.
The Elijah Craig barrel proofs are usually 9+.
Same mash bill.
Same mash bill, but I mean, think an Elijah Craig barrel proof is going to run you $79.99.
Right.
And yes, you're getting a little more age and a bigger bottle. If you find one of these,
But if you count I mean, if you double that, it's $100.
$100,
right?
yeah. But for 7 year, again, it's not all things equal, but that is a really nice pour. That is a really nice barrel proof offering.
Now I'm getting a lot more like caramel and dark chocolate and vanilla sweetness on it.
It takes you 3 good sips on that one.
It does.
Even after warming up, and this is not our first episode of the evening, warming up with the Mellwood, it takes you 3 good sips for that one to kind of settle in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I think the boys over at Pursuit did a good job reviving this one. Derbytown was a distinguished Kentucky bourbon with deep roots in Louisville distilling history. General Distillers was the original distiller of this, which took over the historic Mellwood Distillery site after repeal of Prohibition in 1933. Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting history.
Yeah.
And you can read all about it on their website.
Yeah, again, I love this trend. Bring back the old brands, get nostalgic. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of, and not just the bourbon in the bottles, but the people and the communities and the industry that existed at that time. And if we don't recognize it and we don't learn it and we don't pass it down, it's just going to be lost forever. I mean, we have already lost, just in the last 40 years, a ton of bourbon history that people now would be like, what are they doing? They're turned. I mean, look what almost happened to Castle and Key, the site of Castle and Key, the E.H. Taylor Distillery. I mean, it was this close to just being gone forever. So I like resurrect. I love this. I love this trend. I'm here for it.
And speaking of which, can I just say,
yes,
bourbon companies, do more of this. When you have special releases, put them in 375s. Let more people have access to them. Make them more affordable so more people can afford it, right? Do you agree or disagree?
I do. Now, I understand the argument of, wow, it's just a little bottle. But I often want to karate chop those people in the neck. Be like, you don't drink that much, buddy. Yeah. Like, that 375 is going to last you a year and a half, buddy.
And when you get a special bottle, you kind of hoard it anyway.
You're sipping it and you're comparing it to something else. I 100% agree. I like these. Old Forester does these with the 117s. I'm a fan of it. Anything that puts, and it yields you out more, right?
Yes.
So if you're selling 1 bottle per person, you're having a big release, it doubles the amount of people that get to purchase something and enjoy it. And I'm here for that. So yeah, 100%. Well said. Man of the people, Glenn Hockersmith.
Absolutely. Charlie, do you want to wrap this up? Do we have anything more to say about this?
Like and subscribe for more hard-hitting bourbon history like this on YouTube. Here.
Absolutely. Check us out on socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, all the things, right? And don't forget to keep those wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight, or history will forget it. Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Can't
believe I choked like that.
Yeah. I was like, nobody touch him, he's choking. So, I mean, that's awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
Splashed on me.
You made a right mess of our tax strip.
Well, that's the way it goes. Now, you made it. That's going to be distracting. All right, let's do this.
Action. Because someday somebody will figure out.
We're going to Derbytown.
In time.
Get my teeth cleaned tomorrow.
I did that this week too.
Really?
No.
They usually give me a discount because I only have 3.
I go to the horse dentist.
All right, Charlie, I'm kind of excited tonight because one of these, actually both of these, have a real connection to my heart. Why don't you tell them what we doing
tonight?
What we doing tonight? Let's start this up.
We were doing so good.
Tell them what we doing tonight.